This is a pretty quick ready up compared to Inferno.
Well, I mean, they were setting up and then at that point. Now they're already, you know, they're already on the server.
Now they just need to get set mentally, at least on OpTic's end.
All right, so who do we got here then? Mirage.
I still think OpTic will win this eventually, so I kind of have to side with OpTic here.
All right. I mean, listen, we're at a tournament where we can change our minds.
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, I guess I could be fence sitting as much as I want, but no, I actually do think OpTic are gonna be better on Mirage.
Okay.
Doesn't start out swimmingly for me though.
It's all right.
Configure losing opening duels. Name a more iconic duo.
Oh, well then.
This really hasn't gone my way, has it? But it's fine. It's fine. They're gonna get 1900.
Was there only one smoke towards on the top of stairs there from compLexity? Did they only have one smoke? There was no one in spawn, right? And I only saw one smoke towards stairs, not in jungle or connector.
They had two with utility.
Oh really? Where did the other smoke land then? Was it also there? Did you just cut off connector and jungle?
Pretty sure that was a well, successful round for compLexity at least. And this, I guess, this is one of the things that teams have to consider as well. Like, again, you can see Def going right to Mach 10. You can't go too heavy on SMGs, I feel like, if you want to build your economy, which is kind of weird with the new money as well, because, okay, Snappy can buy up because he got kills in the pistol round, but again, you're going to have that third round buy coming in from OpTic, and compLexity then has the choice of whether or not they want to go with this kind of a buy into that buy round from OpTic, or if they just want to deplete all of their resources to get AKs.
Well, it somewhat works out, right? Because there's going to be cases where you're going to have to pick between head armor and a smoke.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
keeping
true.
SMGs, like this could, like, you know, this is my games. You're basically forcing CTs now, and then if you're keeping SMGs to buy armor instead of smoke grenades.
That's true.
Right? We'll see. We'll see.
I think it's like the worst case scenario here is actually if like Stanislaw gets an ace of the AK. Keeping it pretty tidy for now, though, at least.
Yeah.
Still a little bit worried, though, about how that next round's going to pan out. Obviously, OpTic are not going to have like a ton of utility, but I
think this one, this Mirage is the next map to go, right? In the map.
I think Cash.
You think Cash?
Yeah.
No, but he's already remaking that though. Like, it's not Valve that remakes that map. So
no, but they've see. I'm pretty sure what happened is like Cash got brought into the game, but then it got like a Valvification.
Sure.
Where they just like add a couple of things and just make it theirs. Again, FMP is still going to be the one to be like I guess the lead designer if you like. But I think it's the one map that Valve hasn't tinkered as much with compared to Mirage. Out of the
no, but that's what I mean. So like normally the trend before, right, is that they take out the map before they start working on it. So like Mirage, for example, I don't think we've even heard that they've started working on like the remake for Mirage. Right, compared to Cash, we know for a fact that it's been working on.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
They did do a small tweak though. Remember, they opened the skyboxes on this map like a few months back.
Yeah, that's true.
Where you could like throw them over from like CT spawn.
I mean, I think the only thing Mirage need is like do a little facelift just to update the textures similar to you.
I still want the boxes back to like the old bomb sites and stuff. Like
I'd love that too, but we're not getting that. So I'm just trying to be.
You never, but the thing is,
you
don't know that. Like, there's definitely going to be some changes to Mirage. There's not going to be a visual upgrade. Like, there's going to be some.
At some point, I would settle just for removing the chickens.
I feel like
by the way, Robin, I remember us having a conversation like 6 years ago where you were like, guys, we need to accept the chickens. Valve will be happier with one version of the map.
And then what happened was we got more chickens.
See, that's the problem. You accept one chicken, you're tolerant for it. Next thing you know, you're overrun with chickens. It's a chicken invasion. Reasonable chicken immigration policies, please.
Listen,
before it's too late.
What I was saying is, why complain of a thing that
both for Duncan, Thorin, Seal.
Exactly.
I'm trying to change the subject.
It's not working.
No, it's definitely not working. Oh, okay. Now this is where, as probably the people can tell, we need some food up in here. Duncan is zoning out.
Fading a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely fading. You know, people are losing energy. But we did just have Chick-fil-A arrive.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so can
speaking
these guys?
of a company,
come on, speed it up now. Speed it up now.
No, so once they start packing it up, we can just go one by one and just grab one.
There we go.
Yeah. We'll have Duncan first.
Yeah.
You know, don't want
I'll
all
get
cranky on
refueled.
us, you know.
Config at least seemingly refreshed.
How OpTic-like would it be for them to go out in last place here?
And then still make some excuse like, well, we're still working on our map pool. Like, you know, it's going to be there in a few months, guys. Like, give us some time.
Right now, it's just falling apart, though.
I'm not sure what that was.
That really
I
fell
don't
apart.
really understand it. It's like afterwards when he landed, he was like, oh, you fire after you land. Right. Oh, my
The
bad.
British guy, right?
Def, yeah.
Indeed. All you need to know is this.
Hint at something
This
here,
isn't
Tommy?
even a diss. All you need to know is this about Def, right? When Smooya and Big had that run at Cologne, people were like, finally, someone from UK is actually a good pro player. And then everyone was like, well, you know, there was that Def guy in compLexity. They were like, oh, right, my bad.
Oh, he's from the UK.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's
But
not
by the
even
way,
a diss, it's a fact.
So I probably played like 10 matchmaking games when I lived in London overall. And then I played a couple when we were playing the ESCA season in the US just to warm up before our games. And honestly, I think matchmaking level of play is like 3 times better in the US than it was
In London?
playing from London.
Really?
Yeah.
What, in terms of skill?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Well, here's the problem
Like,
with
I-
that, though.
what-
Is
what-
that
what-
remember, if you play in the UK, you don't get matched with UK people. That's the...
A lot of the time you do, because there's a lot of people with like 5 ping.
No, but it depends on what you
I
set.
almost
right? Like, if
always
you-
get Russians, Germans.
Yeah, but then
doesn't matter
you
when
set
I'm-
your max ping probably.
Maybe we
like
should
if
put it
you-
lower.
No, my max ping is like the lowest setting
No, that's what I mean.
you can have.
Because
Oh,
then,
that's why then,
they
yeah.
put you on the UK server.
Yeah.
Right. And then sure, if other people have the same, yeah, you are technically playing against other UK players.
So that's the way to game the matchmaking system in Europe.
Right.
It's just low. It's just the low ping
Well, you can't
setting
do that
and
for-
playing in the UK.
Yeah. I was going to say, you can't do that in Sweden, for example, because Russians ping better, the
Yes.
best to Sweden.
They're always on the Swedish server, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you still get Russians. For Swedish people, at least.
That's one of those areas where Valve actually did fuck up.
Also, by the way, like you can't really escape from other Swedish and Danish people if you're in Sweden. Period.
No.
So you have the good players regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
You were saying, Duncan?
Well, that's also one of the flaws of how Valve made matchmaking. It's like, it doesn't work the same in Europe. Like, it just does ruin your experience if you've got some Russian players who aren't speaking any English.
Yeah.
Like, that's never going to be a good situation. So if you pay for the game, it's like, you do feel like, why is this an option, you know?
They have the same problem in Dota, I think. Like, and Dota even has like Russian servers, but they still
Same as one thing that really triggers me as well in matchmaking is that like they let people put the max ping really high and then some guy just joined from America and he'd be on your team. It's like, how's that fair? What, just because this moron wants to play with
Right.
120 ping, he's on our team
You have the
now.
same problem for ESA.
Why is that allowed?
ESA has the same, or not only ESA, but like
Face it stuff.
both of them, right? Because you could technically
can in theory,
during
yeah.
nighttime for Europe,
Yep.
right? Oh well, there's no one playing here.
Yeah.
Let me
Pop
just go and
over.
join this one.
Listen,
yeah.
Robin. Even EPL and ECS have that same problem. It was
Right.
only a couple days ago, and I think was it Wait, who just played a game?
Liquid was at Epicenter, so maybe they
Yeah,
played
and
an
it was
NA game.
Liquid played like 2
Probably,
games.
yeah.
And then like, and no, it was Cloud9. Cloud9
were
had
playing
to
for
play
Copenhagen.
2 games from Copenhagen, and they're actually like right on the verge of maybe not making the finals.
Right.
And now they have to beat like Energy and someone else in the final week.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun
I mean, like,
times.
so you have the 150 ping problem even in pro level of CS, not just in matchmaking at 4 a.m.
But at least then, but you could argue that for pro players, where's the scheduling and in that sense, you know? You can go, Duncan.
Is that,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
already here?
yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Screw it, I'm going
Yeah,
now.
go ahead.
Go
No,
ahead.
it's already
Nothing going
open.
on in this
No,
game.
everything it's good to go. Go ahead. Yeah, so happy right now, Duncan. You guys should see him. Or in game.
Illuminating.
Also, just friendly pointer out for people that's tuning in for the first time, never seen a summit event before, and they're like, why the hell are these guys not even talking about the game or casting the game? Listen, dude, we can do whatever we want here.
Freedom of speech,
Exactly.
freedom of choice, freedom of everything.
You know, we're here to hang
America.
out. We're here to
Yeah,
chill.
exactly.
You know, if you have any questions, feel free to message anyone of us on Twitter. We might talk about it.
Actually, just feel free to throw those questions in the trash can, and we'll just continue talking about what we want to talk about.
Okay, so maybe not tweet at Tommy.
No,
unless it's Tesla
probably
related.
not Tommy. The person that will do this the most is probably Jordan.
Oh yeah,
Loves the fan interaction. You know,
he nailed that aspect of it.
Right. But yeah, this is what we do. This is when there's going to be other teams playing. We might be a little bit more invested.
I think at least for the one I have scoped out at least is Big versus G2.
Well, I'm theoretically short both these teams, so I have negative investment.
In this
match.
You've kind of set your mark on that.
That's
so
true.
far.
That's true.
I guess the one thing we could look for obviously is just improvement from Inferno. In that sense, right? Like we want to see something better out of them.
What I really hope to see on the CT side is compLexity not allowing 5v5 bomb plants all the time.
Actually, I think like in one scenario or one map where that possibly could be okay
Mirage
is A side Mirage. Yeah. So who knows?
See, that's how it happens, Halvor. You first get started on A side Mirage, pretty soon you're a degenerate, letting them plant in Inferno B.
It's
that's how it goes. Mirage A is a gateway bomb site. It's a gateway bomb site to worse things.
Down to the pits.
What other maps do you have that? Train, retake.
Train inner.
Oh yeah. Well, I wouldn't be a big fan of like doing like 5-man retakes on train inner.
I would. I mean, it depends because you win that round 100% of the time if T's don't push.
Yeah.
But that's
if
the thing,
don't
right?
push,
Like, but if you're doing a 5-man retake, you're allowing people to potentially like what smokes down, right? On an execute,
that's-
you're
yeah,
allowing
but
people
that's
to
what I
like
move
the
forward.
definition of that
Yeah.
is like whether the T's push far enough to die. Like if they, like because it's not a 5v5 if they aggressively push.
Right.
Then they're
Yeah.
So if it winds up being a 5v5, that means the CT player rotated really far, and pretty soon the T's are probably going to be run over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I've
I feel like that's but at that one it's like a misplay from the T side though. If you're given
but
that
it
much,
still
if you're
happens.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
the
that
sad
definitely
part.
happens. Yeah. You would have.
Okay, so Halvor,
Yeah.
riddle me this then. On Mirage, arguably, it's not a misplay for either side. Like there's a case to be made that can
A 5v5
reasonably
retaking,
happen.
okay, yeah.
So then, why do it on either side? It's not misplay. It's not. Basically, it's just flipping a coin.
But
So
on
basic-
Mirage, no.
So basically, you want to do that when you want to increase variance, i.e. when you're bad.
So
on
are you
T side.
talking about for T side now pushing into CT spawn and stuff and pushing the CTs into jungle and connector by hitting A?
Well, I mean, effectively, you can't really push anywhere except like maybe the stairs area,
Sure.
right? Because that's the only place
Right.
where
Right.
like it's gonna stay 5v5ish.
Yeah. No, but that's why Mirage is like to
Lends
your point,
itself to
Tommy.
it,
Like
yeah.
it's one of the maps where you can retake on because if you don't push for CTs, it is doable.
Yeah. That is very map dependent, obviously.
Yeah.
I think like one map where you can never ever do it is obviously like Dust 2 on the B side or any of the bomb sides on coL. And this is just a really big fan of losing games.
Just to A, you can do it if you play passive A.
Yeah.
Just rotate back to long.
Yeah.
It's doable.
I mean, that still happens to this day too. Yeah.
B
No,
bomb side
that is also how we almost lost an ESEA Open match by basically playing retake in A.
Retaking. Oh, that's right. Didn't we lose that game?
No.
We won.
No, you had the 1v4 on T side.
Oh right. Oh wait, was that the?
I had like
overtime?
150 ADR on T side.
Right. So
Mikey
nuts.
was invisible because he was being carried like the rest of the season.
Didn't want to go there, but I mean, now that you talk about it, for sure.
That was the game Sean didn't play, right? We had what's his name play?
Was it Abe? No,
I
it
think
was
Miller. I think Miller was locking down B, and by locking down.
By locking down, you mean open house. Everyone was welcome.
Everyone's
fast
getting fast
lane
passes, yeah.
pass for all the terrorists. For all
Let's
the
hope he's not watching
terrorists.
this game. All right.
It's good for retake practice further into the season.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. If I cared about retake at that point, you know.
Okay, what happened with those nades?
It did go
Didn't
down.
bounce over.
Oh, no.
We'll take that trade. OpTic are happy enough to like stick around in mid, not necessarily give up mid control at any given point, or not just completely give it up. At least they'll have like 1 to 2 players hanging around.
Has anyone seen Yugi? He's like a pretty small Small
easy to miss.
Asian guy.
No, he had a good round on.
I'm not sure if he's here.
He was here for at least one round on that A-bomb site. And he did do well for himself on the T side of Inferno, but yeah, he's been rather quiet. But that's kind of been the story of Yuki ever since he came to OpTic. Just hasn't been the same kind of a player.
Before Astralis started winning, i.e. like before KRB removed himself and departed for the completely burned down pastures of North. Before that, I actually used to think like, you know, Yuki would be a really good fit for Astralis.
Yeah, no, but he felt like he would be like the natural choice for any, like either North or
but
Astralis.
That's gone now.
Oh yeah, no,
that's gone.
That train has.
But what? What do you mean?
Yuki
Yuki has secondary op then?
No, he'd have to be primary and device would be hybrid.
Yeah. Because you have to consider the fact that for a pretty long time, like the device didn't want to do full-time opping.
I mean, that's why Dupree.
Also,
like,
by the way,
main opping for a little bit.
I'll even add a new opper just to make sure Dupree never ops again.
Dude, he was great at the Blast. Like,
yeah, he had that one half. One half against SK on
like his
Mirage.
tournament at Blast was really, really good. But then again, like it's like the honeymoon period that riflers go through when they decide to op.
It's like MSL's DreamHack Stockholm, where like no one knows you're opping, no one expects you to be opping, and you just hold like weird angles because you're not an opper. So you get a bunch of like easy kills against rifles.
That's what people don't realize.
But then the next time, like, hey, this is the moron who's literally just standing at the worst off angle, and he's just dead.
No, being when I say decent, I mean like you could technically get a few kills every now and then with an op, just holding an angle. Like you can't say the same thing about technique with a rifle because you could get outplayed. Whereas like you have a scope, he runs into your cross, you click it, and there's a kill, right? Like in that sense, an op is somewhat technically easy. But outside of that, if you can't do that, or like if you're going to the next level, like you're saying, we're talking about MSL, like when you then go into like, now I'm gonna have to start moving around with the op.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm gonna have to
That's
start
when everything falls apart.
Then it gets really difficult. Like it is actually a pretty hard gun to get.
No, it gets like once people start actively smoking and flashing you out, then it becomes really hard.
Yeah.
But it's when people don't expect you to be opping or don't know how you play. That's when it's actually pretty easy to get some you know, just free kills on rifles.
Right.
But that's usually the difference when riflers op. They're not challenging the oppers. They're just
against
all
the
way just running over the riflers. By the way, I think that's why Skadoodle, I think, there has been like Skadoodle's best thing. It's like I don't think he's ever been like a great op on op dueler, but he just gets a lot of kills on riflers.
Yes. No, he's really if they do end up coming like where he's playing, and he's not dueling that offer, like he does a really good job. Like he gets the two, you know.
I mean, he's a turret. He's not very mobile, but he just like stands there and kills people.
But that's why, like, even to this day with KGB of being notorious on Dust 2. Now, granted, that only works for so long. Like you can't play car for 10 years and get away with it every round.
Well. I think in the NIP days that was also tried.
I played Sight a lot.
I feel like it was like 1/3 holding like the closed corner on Cat for the initial pick.
Yeah, the Fox
that
position.
you always do that, right? But I mean, it's one of those things because you always have the advantage technically.
Yeah.
Unless you royally screw up, right? Or they actually have a flash, but you don't have to repeat there. It's like
you just drop down.
Yeah, you drop down.
It's
but
like
the problem with that is that, and like we use that a lot too. It's like when we knew that a player would be holding there was an explosion right off the bat because he would never make it to call or even sight. As soon as he drops there, we hit the bomb site.
Yeah.
And then they're playing what? They don't even have a guy. They might have one rifler like in ramp, but that's it.
Yeah.
So if you're very fast, then actually that position is not really good.
Yeah, I mean you have to plan for it.
Yeah.
If you get surprised by it, then it's great.
You happy now, Duncan? Yeah. Which one did you take? Spicy or regular?
Oh, spicy.
Yeah, spicy. Chick-fil-A, spicy. All right. Now we know what Duncan likes for the people out there.
Hot and spicy.
Yeah.
Can't be a surprise.
Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll have a go at it.
One on two. Jürgen misses that op shot.
When I left, OpTic was getting their heads kicked in. So in the true vein of this game, what did compLexity do wrong? Because we all know this isn't about the team who wins doing something right. It's about the other team fucking up even worse.
Has not been pretty.
I mean, I already can tell right now they haven't got any kills. There we go. There's one reason, right?
There tends to be
Inability
a
to shoot people in
correlation
the head.
with kills
Turns
and
out,
round
yes.
wins.
No, but actually, if anything, I actually think that OpTic is on the CT side just doing very similar to like their Inferno on CT side, and like they are playing aggressive. They are going for the duels. They are getting the entries. This time, at least on this
not
map, they're
trading
getting
any of the
it.
kills.
Yeah, they're at least getting the kills here, whereas on Inferno they just didn't. Oh, you left when they won. Yeah, you left right after the Deagle round on the B-bomb side, right?
Yeah.
That's when Tilt
See, the
happened.
problem is, because they have just literally got these two, I'll put a picture on Instagram in a minute. They've just got two massive bags full of...
Nice plug, by the way.
two massive bags full of Chick-fil-A. So as a result, I had 2 of those spicy chicken sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Did you have any fries?
Oh, I didn't know if they had
No,
those.
dude, they have fries, man. Yeah, look, they have so much.
Ah, whatever. I've already had the sandwiches. It's
Alright.
fine. Yeah.
I'll bring you some
It's no
fries
need to be
later.
excessive.
You say that, but why not? They also have nuggets.
Not a big nugget
Oh,
fan.
you're not a nugget fan? Alright, that's fair enough.
Not in basketball or chicken. Not bad. Not bad. What movie is that? Untouchables, I
Yeah,
assume.
Untouchables.
Good bomb down at least, but this is not. It's
Ooh,
not going to
hello,
be the best of
config.
halves.
He's woken up.
All right, here we go. 10-5.
Let's see if they can lose another game after a big first half. I believe in them.
Who did Ye play with before compLexity?
I think he was actually like one of the newer players, but I don't think he's been around the scene very long.
But was he a ROPS coming from?
I would assume he was on some lower level team, but it wasn't some famous
Must
ones
have
as
been.
far as I know.
Really? Well. Oh, here we go. It's going to happen. 10-5, comeback, CT side.
Yuki actually started playing pretty well ever since I called him out.
Yeah.
Started having impact.
I mean, that's the downside of an event like this. You know, you're never safe. It's called GGs, and they come down the stairs, and we're like, well, OpTic's shit. Can't believe it. It's like, oh, hello. How are you guys? Sorry about that. Don't mean to be BM.
That's the fun in it.
It gets funny when they actually sit down and talk about it.
You don't think I timed the complexity line? As
No,
they were
I
walking
saw
right
that. I
behind
saw
us?
that. I saw the little smirk after, too.
It's funny when you can play it off as not intentional. Otherwise, it's just rude.
How did they lose that? Man alive. It's outrageous, isn't it? What even is that?
So you have a crossfire from those two spots with bomb planted for you, and you both swing out and find a way to lose. That is just quite something.
They just want to make it exciting for us. 3 maps. That's what we want. Have you guys been up there, by the way? Did you guys get the tour yesterday?
I had a look.
Oh, you haven't been there, Tommy?
No.
That's another thing, actually, that people don't stop and think about. Here's a different thing about this tournament. You can't just look at everyone else's screens when you're dead.
Not as easily, certainly.
Like, you know, you can at certain angles you
Right.
just can't even see there, so... And I'm going to assume, because he's doing, like, the coaches can just talk all the time. At this
Yeah,
point,
no,
right?
that's what I mean. So the difference you get here is that your coach also have a computer here. You know, and they get to talk at the same time. So, like, I think it's a give or take.
I mean, I wish coaches had just free reign to do whatever they wanted. I think that'd be great.
Well, if you want, I mean, we can bring this up now. I've got some time to talk about it. I was actually making this point to Halvor the other day, which is that, remember, this is why you always need to know someone's reason for doing a move, not just what the move itself is. So Valve's reason for doing the coaching change was it gives an unfair advantage to people who can afford a coach. Well, now that every team has a coach, it goes the other way. Because everyone can afford a coach, including ex-pros, but there's a very limited amount of God-tier in-game leaders. You've just made the God-tier in-game leaders overpowered.
Yeah.
Like, if this was like the NFL, you don't have to have the best quarterback in the NFL to have a chance to win. Because your coach can just call all the players. You can tell them, just do this play here, dude. Like, in this scenario, it's like if everyone had to be the quarterback that calls his own players.
Yeah. No, I actually think, if anything,
it would help the lower teams get a chance.
Well, that too. And
think how OP people like Glaive, all those guys are, considering the coach can't talk.
Right, yeah. But imagine right now in the current day and age too, how many in-game leaders do you think would have quit the game and gone coach if the coach rule was
a whole bunch of them,
right? But people are probably keeping some of these in-game leaders around because, you know, they just need an in-game leader.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that's why it's so surprising to me that new players who are trying to get to the top and just want to be professional players.
Yeah, they just want to be like, I just want to be
callers.
Yeah. No, they want to be a shroud. You know, they want to do the highlights and stuff. But listen, like, everyone is like that. Why not at the time?
That's the one thing.
You have a spot.
And that's the one thing that, like, theoretically, if you just put in the hard work, you can overcome, like, whatever, you know, whatever you lack in, like, just pure hand-eye coordination.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you should be able to.
The only problem is that how do you really showcase that, especially in day and age, like when you only play FPLs and stuff, right? Like, are you gonna go completely ham mode and just like call super serious FPL strats?
I mean, the problem is you kind of just have to build a lower team and just work your way up from there, right? Like that's the only way you can
it's a completely different kind of grind compared to like if you want to make it, you know, just shroud style. Yeah, it's the FPS grind or FPL grind rather.
Well, plus, I think part of the reason it's so much harder to build hype as an in-game leader is, like, you can obviously call the right round, like, read the game perfectly, lose the round, and there's no way your star players are going, yeah, that was on me. I fucked that up. So, as a result, you don't get credit for all the times you did really great moves that didn't actually work out, you know?
No, but that's why I would love to get the in-game comps back as well. Like, I think that they just really showcased. Yeah, like there's a very famous one actually of Pronax. There's on YouTube when they're actually. I think they're actually he's playing against an IP with Michael Layla, I think, and he calls. I think 10 out of 15 rounds, right? Like in the beginning of freeze time, as CT Sun and Inferno, I'd be like, oh, they're gonna do this.
Is that the first EPL finals?
Yeah,
ESL, ESCA finals.
Yeah. And like that was never really translated, but it just comes to show.
No,
like,
Nip wasn't at that.
No, I can't remember which one it was actually, but
I would assume it's like a major or something.
It was maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was.
I think one of the Katowices I think had.
Maybe it was the Katowice major actually that they ended up playing against each other. But yeah, no, stuff like that is just so cool to me, right? Especially if you're very interested in like how like communication part of the game. It's very interesting to listen to. That's why I would love to have it translated.
No, I always thought those were great. I mean, like, I can understand Swedish, right? So, like, I would always just listen to, like, Fnatic and NIP, because that's just fun. That's why I used to like watching Fnatic demos in 1.6, because they were notorious for typing quite a bit instead of...
They never used in-game voice, yeah.
I'm sure they used it a lot, but, like, for, like, calls, they would type a lot.
For the strat, they would just type it in, like, you know.
Yeah. Like, you could really get a good sense of, like, how they thought about the game by just watching, you know. You'd see, like, what happened in the game, and you'd see them type out, like, well, because this happened, now we're doing this.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like, you'd see, like, that obviously is a disadvantage to you, that you're giving that out. So...
Sure.
Like
also, one thing I always thought that unfortunately we lost because we can't get the comms. Because here's the thing, by the way, anyone who watches the NFL knows you can absolutely get the comms. You just do that like mic'd up feature. The whole point is you don't put any of they don't put any of the calls in there. They don't have the guy going like 42 roll. Like, they just don't put that in. They only put the parts so it's like an interesting comment or something like that. So you could definitely edit it selectively, you know.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is in this scenario you wouldn't give away the whole strat, but you just give away a little bit.
No,
like
exactly. Yeah.
Make it interesting.
Like
you know?
in a clutch situation,
exactly.
like how
someone makes a big call, like you know, oh, this guy flanking now. Like that doesn't ruin the strat at all.
I agree.
You haven't given anything up.
But I think, like, I think that League does a pretty good job of that. Like as a game when they cut to commercial, like they always do. Like they always throw in some like highlights of voice comms there too, like some funny skits and bits, right? It does take work though. I mean, that's a full-time person, I guess, in production. That.
Yeah, you also, I mean, I think the bigger thing is just like you need to have someone from the team available in real time, basically, to okay it. Because if you take 30 minutes, you know, it's kind of past its due date.
No, but it could be at the end of the day, you know, like, oh, let's do a recap of today, right?
Yeah, but it's more.
I know, it's more
valuable if you can do it
I
like
agree.
at like end of the half or something like that.
No, that would be sick.
Well, that's also the other thing as well. The main thing you also want is just the interesting comms that are outside of the game. So, like if at the end of the half on this game here, you know, at complexities, Stanislaw was like, "Oh, this isn't good enough, guys. Like, we were supposed to get it more rounds." Like, that's what you want to hear, you know.
Yeah, you want to hear that talk too.
Whereas you have no clue what their mentality is now.
Right.
Not least because one thing I'd love about that is if fans only knew how many really good pro players just make so many excuses. Oh, it's bullshit. We should have won 10 rounds. And like, you'd laugh so much if you could hear it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Some of them are mad delusional,
you
know, and it's like, you weren't even in those rounds. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
but we should have been, you know.
Like, people don't realize when they do that, too. It's like, oh, we should have won that round. We fucked up. It's like, well, listen,
they're going to have rounds like that, too. There's a lot of rounds that you should have lost.
Yeah. They also have rounds like that. Don't think that just because you made a mistake that the other team didn't. Like, no one is perfect. So,
for similar teams, that should roughly even out over the long term.
It's just
then, you know, the better teams make less mistakes, and that's why they are the better teams.
Yeah. No, I never liked that logic. I think it's so flawed to me.
Okay, so we got feedback from Mr. Garris.
Oh, okay.
On the Shazam question.
So he's watching.
Here we go. You ready?
He's actually a good opper that can play with pistols plus rifles. He can communicate really well, takes criticism really well, and also can suggest things, which is rare. He's coL's best players. Then he linked his stats page. His pistols are actually incredible. He was always the best pistol player on my teams.
Wow.
End quote.
I like the way he said he's actually a good AWPer. It's like,
the actually there was
listen,
telling.
It's like he goes, listen, you guys aren't going to believe me, but I'm telling the truth. He's actually good. I swear on my mom's life, he's good.
Thank you, Sean, for the insights.
Yeah, thanks.
Great. Yeah, that was great. I actually, if he wouldn't have said that, I would have never known that Shazam was
actually a good upper.
No, the best pistol player on the team. That's pretty nuts.
Actually, by the way, he's another of Duncan's example. He's another opper who uses the P2000.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, it kind of makes sense that a lot of oppers are good with pistols. Again,
they should.
Just by the fact that
right.
if you miss one shot, you only have one backup plan, right?
Right. But you say that, but that's why, like, when the CZ came into play, they basically removed that for like. You didn't
everybody.
Yeah, you didn't have to be good with pistol anymore if you're an opper. Like,
oh wait, you didn't have to be good at the opping part if you were an opper.
Yeah. Especially when like the time it took for you to like just get
pull
the
it out. Yeah, exactly.
Listen, we all know the one player we're thinking of when we say that you didn't have to be that good at an AWPer, but it made you a really good AWPer, and because you had the CZ. He was French. Put it out. Well, I'm going to tell you is, and he wasn't a fan of noobs. So
I'm
not gonna nail it down anymore, but you can place your bets on that one. So.
Robin's ducking out at this point.
It's the only time that one player just single-handedly got like boosted within the game itself. Not even like an entire type of player, just one dude.
I mean, the guy who actually first really took the ZZ to heart and just started, you know, basically punishing people with it. That was Pasha. Remember the first Katowice victory they had? He was like lights out with that weapon. He was unreal. He's never really been the same.
I mean, for like people really forget, but for like the first 6 months or so of that year, he was a top 3 player in the world. Like, you could have made a case for him to be the best.
If you want to go back to 2000,
it was only basically Get Right who was better.
I mean, if you want to go back to 2013, right? Like, I mean, Taz was a top 5 player in the game as well.
You know, the other thing is though as well, if you think about that period of time and Pasha, is like there were so few hybrid players at the time actually. There was just the old school 1.6 and CSGO dedicated AWPers, and then there's just rifle players. Because actually, that's the thing people don't realize. Because people like very games when they're doing lots of tactics and executes, because people like NIP who just had the best riflers, these teams weren't running AWP all the time.
Oh, no.
So actually, it wasn't an AWP-heavy game.
NIP were, I mean, they pretty much just had, well, 50
Fifflaren did it
AWP.
It was only on certain maps, though.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Like train, you know, he's not going to do it on every map.
Yeah. It's just because, like, well, somebody has to use it.
Like, he's not doing it if they do Mirage, when they played Mirage. They're not Inferno. He's just going to play with a rifle, isn't he?
Yeah.
Whereas that was the thing. Pasha was legit. That's the other thing. He was good with both guns. He was a good AWPer and rifler at the time. I think a lot of that, though, to be honest, is like early CSGO was a lot more about like gunfighting, just brawling. So like that perfectly fits Pasha's style of play. Just be really aggro, take gunfights. He actually at the time had pretty good spray.
Yeah. Also, like, people just were not at all ready for his aggressive style. You know, like, he'd go for those, like, weird peaks, particularly, like, middle of Inferno, but he just made him work all the time.
He was, like, a master of doing that on coL as well, like, later on. Like, just taking peaks that you don't expect anyone to take.
Oh, he would just go on that platform all day long, shooting people through smokes on CT side.
Oh, that too, yeah. He's just like a weird player to play against, just because he doesn't necessarily follow like traditional logic when it comes to how you position yourself or like what kind of duels you decide to go in on.
This is going to be a bloodbath.
No bomb plant there.
Hello.
Oh,
This is winnable
shit.
now. What? How has this happened? He's got so much time to work with as well.
Yeah.
There's no reason at all to have to be frosted here.
Only thing he needs to get is the bomb early.
Yeah, the problem there is he had like a bad angle.
Yeah. Oh, it still though does a lot of damage to compLexity. I mean, they're gonna have to rebuy. It's not gonna be fun. Not that it matters all that much. I mean, considering OpTic's gonna be a match point the second they win a round, but might make it a little bit easier. I mean, OpTic were up what 13-6 was it on Inferno as well?
Yeah.
Still managed to lose that, so we'll see if they have it in them to relive that.
Oh, your boy Shazam going off, putting Yugi in the dirt.
Surely they would have to know. Well, I say that they would have to know that that smoke didn't work out because of the Molotov, but they still actually went in for it twice.
You would hope. You would hope.
All right, so it's interesting. Pretty much puts OpTic in an unwinnable situation.
Here's an indictment of where Yugi's at as a player. I don't have any stats for this, just going off eye tests and memory here, but I would actually say that Dupree is a better AWPer than Yugi. And Dupree doesn't even do it as a primary weapon, just does it like sometimes secondary on the map, you know.
I think that's the difference, though. Like, it's so much harder to selectively up than it is to full-time up.
Well, I can see that, because Yugi's not doing it.
Oh, sorry, it's so much easier.
Here's the thing, at this point in time, if he just did it any other time, I'd be happy. So, you know, if he needs weekends and, you know, bank holidays off, let me know. But if you could just do something, that would be brilliant.
That is true.
Right, timeout for OpTic. Need to talk things through. They actually they used so many timeouts on Inferno early on, but really just waited it out until they started using them again on in that second half when everything just started to unravel. So learned a little bit at least.
It didn't even matter.
Yeah.
They were just crawling in their skin, numb, feeling faint, getting closer to the edge. Is that even a...
They're about to break.
Yes, they are about to break. Because everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge. And now I'm about to break.
Watching this probably takes you pretty close to the breaking point, doesn't it, Duncan?
It does.
There's only so much punishment you can
I
take.
can't find the answers deep inside.
It's like we've gone through every Frag movie from 2002 to 2011, pretty much there, right there. The soundtrack.
Oh,
of it.
you'd love that. At the Epicenter after party, someone, I'll just say someone, who was Russian, says to me, like, because they had a karaoke thing, they were like, have you know Linkin Park? I was like, you are aware we're in Counter-Strike, right? What kind of mad questions that? That's like saying to some guy who's like, oh, yeah, I come from Jamaica. You're like, you ever heard of Bob Marley? Like, yeah, I might have. Might have heard the name once or twice. Are you out of your mind?
Right,
OpTic inexplicably looking like they're actually going to be able to blow another game. Normally, I'd say when you have 14 at this point in time, you're going to get 2 more rounds. You know, you have a chance to do it, but like I reckon they could do it.
It's the exact same
I've got
setup
faith
as
in
well.
them at this
By the
point in
way,
time.
it's the exact same setup as it was on Inferno. They win pistol, they lose the first buy round, then they bring it back, and then they can't capitalize on it, winning that 4th round. Except this time they don't just have one more round to play off of. Oh, well, at least
Here's the thing. I'm just going to say this, okay? For anyone who's thinking, this is started a bit slow. I thought this was going to be really fun, you know, lots of banter and that. Anytime the call time 7:45 a.m. local time, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, first game isn't going to be that great. First game's not going to be everyone on all cylinders. You know, it's not going to be a whole lot of energy.
Well,
everybody needs to get warmed
Duncan,
up.
do you remember the very old IEM days in 1.6 in Hanover?
Yeah.
Where we would have to wake up at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
We'd have to go with staff to the event at 7, and the first matches would start maybe at 10.
Yep.
Those were the days.
What's brilliant is
By
the
the way-
schedule always said 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Now, as a journalist, I was there every time on time. Never saw a game ever in my entire time start at 9 a.m. because that's when people sat down at the PC.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not going to start instantly, is it?
Also, by the way, the compensation really did not.
Not at
It
all.
really did not align with the pain at the time.
Right, can even OpTic blow this? Because obviously compLexity can buy, but just because OpTic's at 15, I still can't put my trust in it quite just yet.
Not just yet. Maybe if compLexity give him a 5v5 retake, that'll make us feel better. In B.
We haven't seen one of those yet.
That is true.
There's still time. Double op. Stanislopping this time instead of Def that we saw in Inferno.
Here's my problem with that Sean Gares thing earlier on.
Yeah.
With Shazam. Now listen, Sean Gares is my boy. I think he's one of the best. He's a very, very knowledgeable guy. Trust a lot of his opinions on Counter-Strike. But I am just going to say this. Didn't really accomplish a whole lot playing with Shazam in either Echo Fox or Misfits.
Oh.
So if Shazam was a really good player, good pistol player, good AWPer, all I want to know is this. Who did suck in those teams? If we could get an update on that. Now, I think at that point, bizarrely, Sean doesn't reply to the messages, but you see the 2 blue tick marks, and there's no reply, because, you know, it's a lot easier to praise someone than it is to actually say who was bad.
No,
you know? I don't think you get an answer to that, mate. I think he goes, sorry, I'm out at the moment, real busy. I'm walking my dog.
We'll get back to you later.
There we go. They actually won a map.
Maybe.
3 maps.
That means
How about this? Next map. I mean, now we got the full circle, right? You know, compLexity won a map. OpTic won a map. Next map is going to be hype as fuck.
Hype as fuck.
Hype as fuck.
Are you bringing it? Are you bringing the...
Yeah, we got food in our bellies.
That's true.
Got some energy.
There we
and
go.
It's almost lunch.
no, it's over lunch now. Well, yeah, it's only 11:30.
It's almost noon, right?
Yeah, right.
Yep.
No, I mean much better. The only thing that I would say on seat aside each of them, I actually think the OpTic same kind of mindset. Play very aggressive, try and go for picks. Inferno really didn't work out.
As a
but
player, though,
Mirage,
we could ask him something. There's your boy Snappy. He's coming for that Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it's,
Here's the thing, Snappy. Food's for closers. Get the fuck back up into that room now and see what happens.
Gotta close it up.
Exactly. If you close out Nuke, have all the food you want. Otherwise,
Hey, you don't
get
want
on
a
your
food
bike.
coma, you know? You don't want to eat too much.
That's true.
okay.
Got to be at peak performance.
Now, they don't come with fries, so at least you're not getting... that
See,
many
there was no
carbs.
fries, was there?
Yeah.
I told
checked.
you.
Yeah, I checked.
There we go.
You want to know why?
There's a
So-
bunch of fruit, as though anyone wants
Right.
to eat that shit.
Everything was looking great for Duncan. He was happy. He came back with his stomach full, and then Robin suggested
Yeah, I
there
mentioned
might
the
be
fries.
fries.
Yeah,
Well,
he
here's the
triggered me.
thing. So
He goes, no, there's loads of... Yeah, help yourself.
So here's the, no. So I asked why, and then apparently I think that Chick-fil-A just doesn't do catering to fries anymore because they don't travel well.
Well, that would make sense because it's going to
Right.
be cold. when
Right.
you get
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas for the
Yes.
sandwiches and stuff, it's quite nice. Like they actually.
Well,
travel
if you
quite
notice,
nice.
that bag has that like foil inside to
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
it warm,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
does work.
Oh yeah.
Legit.
Yep. Any closing thoughts on that map?
Yeah, shame that OpTic couldn't have had their second half in one of those bags to keep that warm because that was ice cold. There we go, not bad.
All right.
It was also a little bit spicy, and OpTic also doesn't play on Sundays, if almost every day of the week Sunday.
Really, they just won a
I'm
map.
tying it back into Chick-fil-A.
Oh, is that one? Okay, fair enough. But it would have been different if compLexity had won that map.
Config, come over to this mic here a second, mate. Come on, quick.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
to
Activate
speak to
this.
the
Yeah,
mic.
just into this mic here.
You got to be really close.
What's up?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, perfect.
There
How's
you
it going?
go.
It's going good.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did first map feel? How did second map feel?
First map felt like shit.
Yeah.
Second map felt pretty good.
What happened first map?
Danish choke.
So
Yes,
here's the thing. I
that was a
wouldn't
bit of
recall.
that.
Actually, yeah, you're right. I was gonna try and be nice here, but no.
Like, what
That
the hell
was-
happened in Banana?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
It's like, did you and Snappy just lose communication at some point, or?
I think we just messed up a few rounds, and then we got like insecure about holding the side defensive, and then they just ran us over when they came.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that again, like on Banana, because Snappy would rotate back, and you would still be out of Banana, and you're just like, where's the communication? And then
Dead.
Non-existing.
yeah, they're dead.
Yeah.
No, Mirage looked a lot better on seat side because the flow was a lot better. You still played like the aggressive style. You go for the picks, and then just at least it actually worked this time around. So what do you feel about Nuke?
We're gonna win Nuke. It's gonna
yeah?
be pretty easy.
Oh, you think it's
Yeah?
gonna be easy?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's like
I think
classic
like
Danish.
Classic Danish Nuke. We learned a lot from Astralis, and we're just gonna put it into the game against compLexity.
Oh,
Do you buy into the whole storyline people are trying to hype of like Stanislaw and Shazam are on the other team? Do you care?
Not really.
No?
They're just the opponent we're gonna win against,
Right.
so it's pretty easy.
Do you think they care?
Yeah, I think they care a lot actually.
Oh, okay.
Fair,
All
yeah.
right, fair enough.
Well,
All right.
listen, they must. In the end, I guess you have to say that they care because he's going to have to take care of these kids.
Oh, good one.
Not bad.
Good one.
Not bad.
Great.
So
not
what's
bad.
happening
It's
on
early
Nuke?
in the morning. I've just had the Chick-fil-A. Come on.
What's happening on Nuke?
Get it going slide slowly.
What's happening on
Puns.
Nuke?
Yeah, what's gonna happen on Nuke?
You're gonna see a 16-7 score. to
Ooh.
us.
All right. Regardless of
I
what
thought he
side you
said to
start on.
us.
And I
That's
think we're
good.
gonna lose both pistols, but still win.
Wow. Okay.
Bold prediction.
So I'm out, boys.
Let's
See
not
you.
recover.
All
Yeah,
right,
great.
cheers.
Thanks so much. That was great. Awesome.
Yeah.
With that, on that note, let's cut to a commercial real quick, and then we'll be back for map 3, Nuke.